A stakeholder will be identified as a person or group with the potential for creating a positive or negative impact on the successful completion of the project. So in order to assess an action as having a positive or negative impact, the aims and objectives of the project must first be made clear. The importance of stakeholders will vary at different stages of the project. For example, at this stage of the project, the services engineers are a priority to get all the mechanical and electrical services installed and working. So the level of involvement in the handover stage will also be assessed. Stakeholders have been grouped into primary and secondary. Primary stakeholders are directly affected by the project, either positively or negatively. They stand to gain or lose by their efforts, whether it's goods, money, reputation, or their jobs. The university itself is the client, made up of the authoritative bodies, such as the steering group and the board of governors. They have the biggest stake as they are investing the university's money and resources into the project. The design team are also primary stakeholders, and the contract team. Together they make up the project team. The secondary stakeholders have a special or public interest in the project and are indirectly affected. Network Rail are involved as they have an easement on the property due to the railway track running alongside. Stockwell Street is on a World Heritage Site. Extra traffic and increase in noise pollution may affect the locals, but generally they will benefit from the development of the site. Based on the level of power and interest, the stakeholders can be divided into 4 categories, which are the promoters, defenders, latents, and apathetics. The promoters are the primary stakeholders. The university authoritative bodies are the client and need to be satisfied with the end result. The facilities management team will check all aspects before handover. It is important for the facilities management team to be well trained in all the functions of the building, involving the setting up of training sessions with the sub and main contractors and the architect. The planning officer and building control have to be satisfied to sign off the work. The Greenwich Council have to sign off after all the planning conditions have been met. The project is supporting education and the community, so the government will be in favour of it. The UNESCO World Heritage Committee's main interest is to ensure that the site is well maintained. These are the defenders who we hope will all benefit from the new development. The communication strategy is based upon the level of influence and interest of the stakeholders. This matrix shows how we are assessing the main groups. The communication strategy helps us to target stakeholders, communicate key messages to them, and get appropriate levels of feedback from them. This helps to manage resources and timeframes. To coordinate the information of various groups, it is necessary to decide which are the most effective forms of communication, when they are used, and to whom. Emails sent to subcontractors may not get viewed for a day or two, so text messaging and phone calls would work better. Making sure everyone is aware of the order and timing of works will prevent one group of subcontractors being held up by another and causing delays. Ideally, the stakeholders will feel that the project is a collective effort, with everyone motivated to align their values towards the success of the project. Stakeholders need to feel they are being heard and their interests are being met. Communication with stakeholders and keeping them informed and listened to should reduce the potential for shocks or surprises. No one will be throwing their hands up in the air and moaning, "But we wanted stainless steel shelves." Making changes late in the project is costly in terms of both time and money. We can assume that everyone involved has a computer, access to the internet, and a mobile phone. So phone calls, text messages, emails, conference calls, websites, and social media are all quick and effective forms of communication. Meetings and training programs need to have ground rules and structure to create effective communication. Promoters will expect a high level of personal communication. Face-to-face meetings are much better for clarifying doubts or questions. The project manager will have meetings or report to the board of governors and the steering group about any developments, such as the completion of the operating manuals and plans, the progress of the relocation, or times of the pre-handover and handover meetings. The architect will have meetings to discuss snagging, notifying them about any defects needed to be rectified by the contractors. The teaching staff, the library staff, and the security staff all need to be informed about the relocation program and their training times. Training programs are essential for them to learn how to operate all the new equipment. They could be notified about the training program and the relocation through email and be asked to confirm their attendance. The information could also be posted on the website. Meetings with the steering group, the Vice Chancellor, and the heads of department would allow for resolving any queries. The staff would feel more involved in the project and have a sense of understanding, preventing confusion and preempting them from complaining or causing problems. Well-trained staff can educate the students to ensure their safety. Overseeing the setting up of the library and the relocation of the Faculty of Architecture, Construction and Design would require detailed communication between the facilities management team, the project manager, the contractors, and the end-user staff members. In the design team, the architect is the most important member at this stage. Frequent communication within the design team ensures the project is running smoothly and tasks are being carried out on time. On-site briefings by the project manager help to get tasks performed in the right order, such as the architect's site inspection with electrical and mechanical engineers to create a list of defects and then gaining approval from the client, or the creation and approval of the O&M manuals or health and safety files requiring communication between the consultants, CDM coordinator, sub and main contractors, and the facilities management team. Conference calls can be used by the design team to communicate between themselves, the facilities management team, the main contractor, or the project manager to keep information flowing and the project moving even when they are not available on site. Timed on-site meetings, follow-up meetings and focus groups enable the project manager to discuss the commissioning program with the design team and the contractors so there is no confusion or conflict. Setting time limits for the meeting also helps to keep people focused, preventing deviation from the topic and time wasting. All these forms of communication are important to make sure that the large number of preparations for the handover are completed in good time. Delays of the handover will be the main concern at this stage, especially as the main contractors, Osborne, are many weeks behind schedule and are seeking further extensions. Conference calls through systems like Skype can be advertised so that they are open, allowing all interested parties to hear what is being said and give their feedback. This can prevent more than one activity being scheduled in the same area of the building at the same time. Briefings will help remind the contractor's team of tasks that need to be carried out, such as test and commissioning certificates for electrical, mechanical and specialist installations, or providing a plant operation and maintenance logbook. Phone calls by the project manager to members of the contractor's team can remind them about a deadline or a meeting, or confirming the time suppliers will be delivering materials or furniture. Emails can do the same job, but must be sent at least a couple of days ahead to give time for a response. Also, they can act as evidence in a case of a dispute. Emails are good for sending information to the contractors and getting feedback from them about matters such as completion times. The main contractor will also use email and phone calls to ensure the subcontractors provide the as-built information and drawings. Timed on-site meetings with the project manager allow the main contractor to talk about their progress. These meetings will be of a more formal nature, and the minutes can act as evidence in case a problem arises. The main contractor will also have to have a focus group with the subcontractors about training the facilities management team, the library staff, the security staff, and the teaching staff. The main contractor will have on-site face-to-face meetings with all the subcontractors to report any defects or commissioning results, as well as to get them to sign off the warranties and certificates once the electrical, mechanical, and specialist services have been finished. The contractor will also have on-site meetings of a more formal nature with the planning officer, the building inspector, local Greenwich Council, and the party wall surveyor to ensure that all the work has been signed off and that all of the 36 planning conditions imposed by the council have been satisfied. The architect will then have timed one-on-one meetings with the contractor to check that all the snagging has been signed off at least 2 weeks before the handover meeting. The project manager is pivotal in communicating with everyone, utilizing all of the listed methods, reminding and updating people about development and ensuring that everyone is performing optimally for the project to keep within the time frame. The project manager needs to be in constant touch with all the stakeholders to oversee the responsibilities set out in her project execution plan and to communicate the contingency plan in case the project needs adjustment. Ensuring all the preparations are complete for the pre-handover and handover meetings will be of paramount importance. Most of the issues with the community, local businesses and residents will have already been dealt with during the earlier stages of the project, such as planning and environmental impact. The Stockwell Street website with newsletters and articles will keep them informed. Students can also be informed using the same strategy. It is hoped that the local residents and students would feel themselves fortunate to have and use this wonderful new building with its state-of-the-art facilities. This sense can be built up through the website. The website could also provide contact details for the University Public Relations Office, which can deal with any complaints or queries. There could be an informal blog on a social media site for discussion of relevant topics. People love to express their points of view, even though it may not lead to any action. This all prevents complaints which may result in the interference of the council and cause delays. The council has to provide a planning conditions discharge notice. Once a month, reports can be provided by the main contractor to the council members to update them on the progress of the planning requirements being fulfilled. National Rail need to be notified if any works are being carried out. Safety signs must also be provided in dangerous areas so that employees and pedestrians are aware of any site works going on. This prevents the contractors from being sued in case of any injury. The planning officer and building control can be contacted by phone to arrange on-site meetings with the main contractor when the defective works have been rectified so they can sign this off.